Hey guys, how are you? I'm going to try and put this video up as soon as I possibly can. So I'm filming this on Tuesday, so maybe it'll go up Wednesday or Thursday. I just wanted to talk to you about what to expect if you're going to get one of these. So if you've been told you've got a high blood pressure, what I'd like you to do is either go into your local pharmacy or your local doctors. Doctors normally have weighing scales and it measures your blood pressure and everything, and if it comes back it's too high, what they tend to do is fit you with one of these. So you'll get like a little blood pressure monitor to take home with you. It's quite the contraption. I have had a little bit of sleep, but I feel like it's because I didn't have barely any sleep yesterday, and I was just so exhausted. I did manage to get some sleep. So basically what happens, I went into my local pharmacist. He fitted me with the machine. So he put the cuff on. Let's just put you down a bit so you can see it. So he put the cuff on, and then he programmed, excuse me, it's not right now. So then he put all my details into the computer. He synced it to the computer, the actual device, so that every reading that I get goes straight to the pharmacist's computer. So that when I take it back today, I've got an appointment at 12:45. When I take it back today, it should just be a case of looking at my readings and then letting me know what's going on, and kind of I feel like what they'll do is work out the average of the blood pressure and just see if it is genuinely high, if it's anything to be concerned about or not. If it is something to be concerned about, it'll send the results to the doctor, which will probably send the results there anyway, just so that they've got it on file. If it's something to be concerned about, I'll probably get an appointment from the GP, and either with a treatment plan, what they like to do first before they give out meds is kind of get you to change your lifestyle. But I've been on a diet for a while now, and I've lost just over a stone. It was 1.5 stone, but I put some of that back on. If I need to, I can change my lifestyle. I can exercise more. I can, I've already started reducing my salt intake, because on that first blood pressure check that you go to the pharmacy or the doctors for, they take about 5 readings. Well, it's supposed to be 4, but they took 5 from me because it was kind of inaccurate. But that could have been our anxiety about having the test done in the first place. But he said no, he said it's far too high, it's not even borderline, it's just too high. What we need you to do is wear a 24-hour blood pressure monitor, and that's what this is, and we'll go from there. So basically that was a couple of weeks ago, and I rung my doctors up yesterday and just explained it to them, and they said, well, the pharmacy have actually got one of those machines, ring them. So I rung them, and basically they fitted me with this. So all my life, guys, I've had blood pressure of 116, which for my age is about right. I did ask the pharmacy what it should be, and he said, well, how old are you? And I said 44, and he said about 120. So I was below average, but suddenly it's rocketed. And it could just be the stresses of life. I am very, very stressed. Or it could be the fact that it's hereditary. Someone in the family has it. So it could be hereditary, and that's what we need to distinguish. But yeah, what they'll do is they'll fit you with the machine, and then they'll take 2 readings while you're there. My first reading was 157, so from 116 to 157, that's so high, guys, so high. So he took another reading, and that was 143, and the first reading could have been because I did a little bit of light exercise, because the pharmacist is probably about a 5 or 10 minute walk from where I live, so obviously I was walking, probably getting myself worked up, so it could have been a little bit higher due to that. But even 143 is too high. I just need to sort this out now. And I said it being this high, is it dangerous to my health? And he said not in the short term, no, and this is why we're doing what we're doing, but long term, if it's just going unrecognised, if we weren't to do this, it could cause strokes, it could cause heart attack, heart failure, angina, and a lot of other problems. So I'm glad I'm doing this. I mean, it's not the most comfortable, guys. I've got insomnia anyway and sleep apnea, so put them with this and it's just not good. So like with me, when I've been wearing this monitor, every time I get the build up of pressure, I'm getting headaches. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's just too tight. I know it has to be tight, but yeah, I've been getting headaches a lot. I mean, it's not too bad now. Yeah, so it's not too bad now. So it's just the inconvenience of it. Obviously it's only 24 hours, so it's not too bad. It could be a lot worse. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's every half hour it's going off. It's intervals of every half hour until bedtime. So my bedtime is put it down from 12 till 7 in the morning. My bedtime isn't that. My bedtime is probably from, I don't know, 4. I think I went to sleep this morning probably around 3. And then I woke up at 6, I think, and I don't remember waking up in between those times, like 3 and 6. I think I maybe tossed and turned a little bit, but I think I slept for those 3 hours, which is unusual for me. I normally only get 2, but I think it's because I didn't sleep the previous day, like I've just said. I feel like it's the exhaustion catching up on me. So I've had around 3 hours sleep. Is it ideal? No, but I didn't want to go back to sleep. At 7 o'clock anyway, it was going to go off at half an hour intervals. So from 12 till 7 they put it on silent. So normally it would bleep, like when it's on like during the day before you go to bed, it does bleep. It's a little bit annoying, but you can live with it. It's just when it takes your blood pressure and it like cuts off your blood circulation, that kind of gets to me. Every half hour just seems a little bit too much. Every hour I could cope with, and like between 12 and 7 he put it on for every hour just so I could try and get some sleep, and he put it on silent as well. So there was that. So I don't know what else to tell you at this point because I haven't got my results back yet. I just feel like if you have to have one of these fitted, don't worry. I mean, everyone's experience is different. I put this up on, I put a picture up of me wearing this on Facebook, not like just basically of the machine. It's going off now. Can you hear the bleeping? Yeah, so basically I just put the picture up of the machine, and a colleague that I used to work with said, you know, it's not so bad, it's only 24 hours. And I'm like, trust me, it is so bad. Not only is it the blood pressure side of things, but it's the headache side of things. And the headaches could really be just one of those things that have come while I'm wearing it. Could be due to the insomnia and sleep apnea that I've got. So it might not even be necessarily down to the machine. All I know is that yesterday I had terrible headaches. Today I'm okay so far, but it is only really early in the morning. I think it's only about 9 o'clock. So I've got a few more hours to wear it. I think about 3.5 hours at this point. So yeah, she was saying that she had one and she was fine. And I feel like for the people that have had the machine and there was fine, I feel like kudos to them. I feel like it's cutting off my blood supply. Right, so that's not me being horrible to them or anything. It is good for them, basically. It's good that they didn't have a bad time with it. Me personally, I've had a bad time with it, but I don't do well with the machines. Now, I did a video of when I had to do the sleep test for the hospital, and that didn't go well either. I managed to sleep better with this on than I did that, because it was just so restrictive. That I'll put that in the cards as well, just in case there's any of you guys watching this video that might have sleep apnea or insomnia or both. I don't take tablets either as well, guys. I don't know if you guys know, but I do suffer with epilepsy, so there's certain things that I can't take. I can't take antidepressants. I can take them. They can give me some. They can give me a very low dosage, but they can't assure me that I'm not going to have a seizure. And I do live alone, and it's just not worth it for me. I mean, people have died of seizures. I've had quite a few seizures in my time. I've been seizure free now for over 20 years, which is good for me. I'm very, very lucky, I know that. And I know there's people with epilepsy out there that aren't so lucky and that are having multiple seizures a day. So I do know how lucky I am. But what I'm saying is I'm not going to take the risk on going on to antidepressants. And I also can't take anxiety meds for the same reason, and also for the fact that I'm asthmatic, so they can't give me anything for my anxiety. So all these contributing factors are making me stressed. The stress is probably causing the high blood pressure. The pharmacist said age and lifestyle, it can change as you're getting older, and I am certainly getting older. I turned 44 in February, so that's not on my side anyway. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So yeah, there's a lot of factors. So like I said to you earlier, don't be worried about getting it fitted. You might not have the same problems as I've had. I'm just letting you know what my problems have been. I'm going to show you the machine. Right, so this is what it looks like. Right, so it counts down the minutes. At the moment, because it's just taking my blood pressure, it's 27 minutes till the next reading. It tells the time, and then when it takes the readings, it doesn't give you your blood pressure like a normal blood pressure monitor would. All it does is the readings will go straight to the pharmacy, and you can't see them until you go and pick up your results. The good thing about it is when you drop the machine off, he's booked me in for an appointment for 12:45, like I said, and we're going to sit down and we're going to go through the results. But a friend did say to me that sometimes the results aren't accurate, so they make you do it again. I really, really hope they don't make me do it again. If they want me to do it again, I'm going to go back in a couple of days. I'm not having another day like this. So yeah, I'll go back in a couple of days and they can fit it again then. And I think I'm going to come back later, guys, and we can talk about the results. I might even ask him for a printout of my own copy of the results, just so we can go through it. I'm hoping that it's gone down dramatically. But I've been monitoring my own blood pressure. I've got my own blood pressure monitor, and before that appointment that I had yesterday, I was monitoring it, and it was like 135, 140. So if it's 135, it's kind of a lot better than 157, isn't it? So maybe me changing things around. Like, I've already reduced my salt intake. I don't have any salt on my food now. Like, normally I would have tasted my food, and if it needed a bit of salt, I would have put some salt on it, but I don't do that now. I use a pepper, and that's about it really, because there's enough salt in your food without you adding more salt if you don't need it. So I always taste my food first, and if it needed it in the past, I just put a bit of salt on. I never used a lot of salt, so it can't be because I've got too much salt in my diet. This is why this is happening to me. I don't know why it's happening. I think it might be stress, or the other possibility is it's hereditary. And if it's hereditary, there's no getting out of it really, because I was always meant to have it. Just like epilepsy, I was always going to get it because that's hereditary as well. So it's not normally hereditary though, epilepsy, but somebody else in my close family has got it, and yeah, that to me speaks that it's hereditary. But yeah, guys, we're going to leave it here for now. I'll come back about 1:30 once I've been to the pharmacy. We'll sit down again and I'll speak to you about the results. I'll try and get a printout of my results so I can go through that with you. So if you need to have this soon, then you know what's going to happen. It is a little bit of a hassle, not going to lie, of having it strapped to your body for 24 hours. But it could be actually worse. Somebody said to me that they had to have it strapped to their body for 3 months, and it's like, this particular machine, as far as I know, is only a 24-hour machine. So I don't know what's gone on there. I went to the pharmacy expecting them to fit me with some kind of Fitbit. To him, oh, so it's an actual blood pressure machine? And he said, yeah. He said, what did you think you were getting? And I said, an activity tracker, a Fitbit. And he said, I really, really wish we were that advanced. He said, no. He said, I believe they are quite advanced in America, but we're not that advanced yet. And I'm like, dang it. But yeah, we're going to leave it here, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again this afternoon. Hi guys, so I'm not long back from the pharmacist. It's good news. Just before I get into it, if you hear some noise, it's not coming from my flat, it's coming from the flat above. It's so noisy, I don't know what's going on up there. But yeah, it's really, really good news. I do have a symptom, which I'll go into in a minute. But for me personally, it was like, that blood pressure monitor was worth the kind of aggravation of it, and the pain that it caused every half hour for me, because it is a bit painful. But yeah, for me it was worth it. So I went to the pharmacy, they ran the report off. The main pharmacist was training another one, so it took a bit longer, so I was getting a little bit anxious. And they ran the report off, and initially when he went into the report on the computer, he said there's some good results there. So I thought, please, please, please let it be good news, because I don't want to be taking meds and I don't want high blood pressure. And so always my blood pressure has been around 116, sometimes a little bit higher. And my awake blood pressure was 123, so it has rised a little bit, but not too much for concern. I'm in the green, which is where I'm supposed to be. So yeah, I'm nowhere near in the danger zone. And then when I was sleeping, it was obviously even lower because I was relaxed. It was 119. So I'm not going to need any treatment, basically. And they said I've got a symptom, basically. It's called white lab coat syndrome. And I just started laughing, and they're like, what are you laughing at, Andrea? And I'm like, I said, white lab coat syndrome. I said, is that real? And he said, very much so, looking at me really serious through his mask. And I'm like, right. And I said, and he said, how do you feel when you go to the doctors or when you go to the hospital? How are you feeling in yourself? And I said, anxious. And he said, there you go then. He said, to me it sounds like you've got a fear of the doctors and the hospital. And it makes perfect sense. I've had a fear of hospitals since I saw my dad in hospital really, really sick before he died. And kind of that smell of hospitals has always stayed with me. I hate staying in hospitals. I've only had to stay in a few times. A couple of times when I've had seizures, they've kept me in overnight just to make sure I'm okay. And then 4 days a few years back. But I've not had to stay in for a long period of time for anything. So I'm lucky like that. And then when I go to the doctors, I'm always really, really anxious about going to them and speaking with them. But there's nothing I can do about that. Even the pharmacist said, well, if you're anxious about going to the doctors and going to the hospital, that's just your brain. So there's nothing that you can do to stop that happening. Maybe, I don't know, maybe counting to 10. Try that. I mean, that works for a lot of people. Working on like your breathing, that also helps your blood pressure go down. He said to me, he said, your blood pressure is perfect, so don't worry about that. That's something that is perfect. And then one of the other pharmacists, because there was 2 pharmacists in there, and then there was me, and then the one that I saw yesterday said, your blood pressure is lower than mine. And I'm like, oh, that's all right then. So I've reduced my salt intake. I'm going to carry on reducing that salt intake. I don't use salt on my food anymore, and that's fine. I'll just use pepper. And yeah, I like that taste anyway. I don't need a lot of salt because it's in all my food anyway. I feel like fresh food you might need a little bit of salt in. I feel like some foods you might need a little bit of salt in, but I've never been one to have a lot of salt. That's why I didn't understand why it was so high. And especially like when I went away from the pharmacist, it just went right down from being 157 to 123, he said, during the day. And that's just because I was getting more relaxed, because I'd already been in to see the pharmacist and he'd fitted the machine, and even though I was uncomfortable in the machine, it was nothing for me to worry about. Now the machine itself, like I said to you earlier, you don't need to worry about getting it fitted. It's in your best interest if you get told that you need a high blood pressure machine fitted for 24 hours to get it done. I'm just so relieved, guys, that I don't have high blood pressure, and you know, I know it could have been dealt with meds. Can you hear the noise? So I know that I would have been able to treat it with medication or a change of lifestyle. I don't really need to do that now. I just need to be a bit more, I'm still going to be a bit more vigilant. I'm going to exercise more as well, and try and lose a bit more weight. Even though, you know, it's perfect, I feel like I want to lose a bit more weight within myself. So guys, we're going to leave it here. Thank you for joining me. If you like these kind of videos, please like, subscribe, share and comment, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.